Wind Waker HD for the Wii U is one of the most unique gaming experiences out there. Why, you ask? Let me explain. Before I start, I want to say that anything I say about this game can also be said about the original Wind Waker for GameCube. I've played both games and love them both. To begin to explain why the Wind Waker is such a great experience, you have to first understand how amazing the entire Legend of Zelda series is. If you've played any Zelda game, I'm sure you have an understanding of what separates this franchise from any other in existence. For those of you who have not been blessed with the opportunity of playing a Zelda game, I'll try to sum up the idea. In nearly every game, you start out as an innocent young kid. You often begin your journey in a very cozy hometown. And by cozy, I mean cozy. These places always feel like a safe haven where the innocence of the pre-game is captured. After all, as a young kid in his hometown, or island for that matter, you don't expect to be slaying monsters anytime soon. I'd like to think that Nintendo purposely makes each hometown have this safe, innocent aura to make the leap into the darker side of the game even more unexpected and thrilling. There's usually a period of time around an hour or so before things really start to pick up. This is where you soak in the feeling of your hometown. After this hour is up though, something happens that strips you from this safe world. Whether it be a family member being kidnapped or having evil gremlin guys try to kill you, you come to your senses and realize that although on the outside these games appear light and happy, they can be emotionally deep. I would like to draw a parallel from Wind Waker to The Lord of the Flies. To those of you who haven't read Lord of the Flies, it is about a group of boys who are stranded on an island with no adults. On the island, things start off light. They stick together and try to survive. However, as the story progresses, darkness settles in and the boys form clans, eventually leading to murder. My point in bringing up The Lord of the Flies is to show the jump into darkness in the game, the loss of innocence. In the Wind Waker, you simply don't expect to have your sister stripped away from you and to have to kill gigantic lava monsters and things of the sort. As you progress your way through the story of the game, you are forced to use your intuition to solve the Zelda franchise's trademark puzzles. In fact, I believe that puzzles like those in The Legend of Zelda are the ones that shaped me as a kid. It kept me from becoming mentally incompetent. Basically, I could do more than just kill stuff in video games. I could figure things out with help from no one else. This is a skill I value to this day, and I believe it may have originated from my playing of Zelda games and those like it. All in all, The Legend of Zelda makes you feel like a hero. You get to explore, solve puzzles, kill enemies, and save the princess, all by yourself. The accomplishment felt after beating any Zelda game is unmatched. I can't recall a game that has left me more fulfilled and proud than a Zelda game. Okay, time to get back on track. Now that you have a decent understanding of the concept of the Zelda franchise, it's time to focus on the Wind Waker itself. Obviously, Wind Waker separates itself from other Zelda games just by its setting. In no other Zelda game can you sail on an ocean and explore. The exploration factor in Wind Waker is what originally made it stand out for me. In most other Zelda games, you end up going to every possible place in the game throughout the story, but in Wind Waker there are dozens of islands unnecessary to the story. These islands hold secret items, upgrades, and hints of things to come. Finding these islands and putting their meanings together was oh so satisfying, especially when rewarded with something nice. While on the topic of deciphering meaning, I want to talk about the fish in the Wind Waker. For each island there is a fish that can give you information about the island. Only after you bribe him with bait. After all, he can't be fighting evil on an empty stomach. These fish fill your mind with questions about what the islands are used for and how they connect to one another. It was extremely fun using the information the fish gave me, and I can't recall an experience like that in another Zelda game. While exploring the ocean, you begin to feel like just a small dot on a map, lost in the ocean's greatness. However, once you begin to tame the seas, discover islands, and make connections, you realize that it is you who owns the ocean. The mystery surrounding the vast ocean in the Wind Waker promotes skills of investigation and puzzle solving. This is what I think is most significant about the Wind Waker and what makes it my favorite Zelda game to date. I think that hidden inside a seemingly light-hearted, mindless game is a farm where kids' minds can be cultivated. That sounds kind of disturbing, but still accurate. Nintendo does a great job of reeling in kids on their lust to become a hero, the savior of their homeland. Also mixed into the Wind Waker are pirates, which you align yourself with throughout the game. My point is, what is more badass to a kid than a sword-wielding, pirate-like hero who saves the world? Nothing. To me, this was Nintendo's first step in the direction of their goal to enrich the minds of young kids. After buying the game, the average kid plays the Wind Waker unchallenged until Aryll, Link's sister, is kidnapped by a giant bird and is taken to the Forsaken Fortress. Here the player is thrust into a world of darkness. It is fair to say that the kid playing did not expect to be put in a situation where they had to save their sister's life. Upon arriving in the Forsaken Fortress, the kid playing realizes that to get to Aryll he doesn't have to only kill a bunch of evil gremlins, but solve some puzzles on the way. The puzzles in the Forsaken Fortress are minimal, but as the game progresses, dungeons become more complicated. Actually, it is also the quest of getting into the next dungeon that is the puzzle. Solving a puzzle to get to your next puzzle? Definitely thought-provoking. I'd like to take a minute to address what may be the elephant in the room for some of you. You might be thinking, but Jacob, Wind Waker's puzzles are not nearly as elaborate and advanced as those in most of the other games, like Twilight Princess or Ocarina of Time. To that, I will respond to you with an analogy. When someone is training to become a mathematician, what do they begin by learning? Calculus? Hell no, they start by learning addition and subtraction, and with practice, work their way up to advanced topics like calculus. In this instance, Wind Waker can be thought of as the addition and subtraction. It kickstarts the learning. There is a reason the graphics and theme of Wind Waker are so appealing to young kids. It attracts them to the game so they can start with the base level of puzzle solving. The point of all of this is that Nintendo successfully eliminated incompetence from thousands of kids by giving them self-reliance and puzzle-solving skills. Figuring something out for yourself is extremely valuable, and for a young kid, even more so. You may be thinking, well, you can just look up a walkthrough if you don't know how to do it. My response to that is this. Kids playing Zelda rarely even know what a walkthrough is, so the thought of looking up how to do it does not cross their mind. However, if the kid does happen to know what a walkthrough is, I would hope that he or she has the moral integrity to figure it out themselves. After all, without figuring out the puzzle yourself, they're worthless. So it isn't just puzzle solving that Wind Waker promotes, but also persistence. You learn to love the game so much that even at the moments of most extreme frustration and confusion, you can't quit. Well, maybe for a little bit, but you always come crawling back. I can say that even I, as a 16-year-old, have had these moments while playing the Wind Waker. The reason always varies. It could be something you overlooked, a hidden grappling hook pull, or anything else really. If you play, these things happen and you have to push through them. Finally, I would like to personally thank Nintendo for saving me and many others from living a life with no willpower and no intuition. In this way, Nintendo is the world's teacher, but maybe I'm just overthinking things.